Hey everyone, I'm 10 Tampa Bay meteorologist Colleen Campbell, and we are your hurricane headquarters. We're here to talk Hurricane Helene. Currently a Category 1 storm, but it is expected to intensify as we move into Thursday. So currently, this is a big storm. Let's just start off with that. This is the satellite imagery you see, so all those cloud tops, those bright colors, and look how far this extends, all the way from the Yucatan Peninsula into those southernmost states, southeastern states, Georgia, the Carolinas. We're just talking those cloudy bands, right? Talking the size here, estimated just from our little ruler that we have on our system here, about 778 miles wide. And then the length of this thing, 1,156. I mean, this thing is massive. But we're going to talk about the wind radius and how that could affect this forecast. So going into radar right now, we've seen some downpours in those far outer bands as they move through our area. But overall, today has been a quiet day. It's been a day that we've said, get all your prep together because tomorrow is when things will rapidly change. So today, yes, some of you may have run into a downpour, some nasty weather, some thunder, some lightning. But overall, most of our area was quiet, just dealing with cloudy conditions. If I extend this picture, though, you can see how we had much heavier rain to the south of us here. So we're just getting started. This is the far outer bands that we're experiencing right now. And that rain will become more numerous as we move into tomorrow. But the flooding that we're experiencing, it's not really concerned flooding, it's storm surge that we're concerned about. And don't forget, the two are separate. Let's go into the track. First of all, we are expecting this to start off as that Category 1 status, but I want you to watch this where it goes from a Category 2 to a Category 4. Nearly skipping over the Cat 3 stage, right? That's because this thing is going to rapidly intensify as it enters into that warm body of the Gulf of Mexico plus lower wind shear. So this thing has nothing stopping it, and it is going to intensify pretty quickly ahead of landfall near the Big Bend area. Now you see these areas highlighted in the red, that would be your hurricane warnings, and then the areas in the pink, hurricane watch, which most of those areas you can see have been extended to that hurricane warning. And then we jump into a tropical storm warning, that blue color after that. This storm is forecasted to go inland. A lot of you have been asking, why is it not riding up the East Coast as some tropical systems do? That is known as the Fujiwara effect. So what's going to happen is we have another area of low pressure out there, and this is going to dance around that area of low pressure, and they're basically going to kind of conform here, and that's why this pushes us out to the west and kind of across the Midwest. So getting back to our area and what we're expecting, the forecasted winds. So this yellow circle that you see here, which is very broad, this is the tropical storm force winds. And then of course, as you get closer to the center, that's when we have the winds that are higher in intensity, right? So as we move into Thursday morning, this is important. That yellow circle is nearly taking up the entire peninsula, and that's just getting started tomorrow morning. We're talking 40-mile-per-hour winds to start, yes, but don't forget the Skyway bridges and as well as the Howard Frank, all those bridges to get over to Tampa Bay or back and forth will likely close once we hit those 40-mile-per-hour winds or greater. So if you have travel plans, which we don't recommend, just be aware that those bridges are probably going to close pretty early. The airport's closing tonight. As we move into the rest of the day, this storm is coming pretty close to us, right? That orange circle is where those hurricane force winds are. Now, this storm is expected to pass by Tampa Bay to the west by 160 miles. So those winds, of course, will be more intense closer to the center. But again, the impacts will be felt starting tomorrow morning for those tropical storm force winds. And then those winds will continue to affect areas like Georgia and portions of the Carolinas. All right, forecasted winds, again, this is another way to look at it. Pretty calm right now, but as we move into tomorrow, we will start to see those winds in the double digits. 20-mile-per-hour wind speeds starting off, but here we go into the afternoon. The storm gets closer, and this is just sustained wind speeds, 37, 40 miles per hour, even greater than that in some spots. Higher gusts, of course. And then as the system moves off to the north, those winds will still continue to impact us. And this is the thing, this is where storm surge comes into play, right? Because as those winds coming from the southwest, they will start off in the southeast, but as the storm passes to the west of us, those winds will take a turn, and that's when that water is pushed on shore, when we have those southwest winds. So that's when the storm surge goes into effect, right? We're looking at the storm surge to start Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, and really become intense for some places. We're going to go over the storm surge forecast in just a second. All right, so here we go. Popped up, right? We did have some updates here. Citrus County now 10 to 15 foot storm surge possible. 15 obviously being on the higher scale of that. We could be on the lower scale of that. If you're in an evacuation zone, you need to heed to those evacuations. You need to leave. You should be gone by now. And we're just talking going a couple miles inland, so you're out of that evacuation zone, going from evacuation zone A to B. Also, if you're in a mobile or manufactured home, you cannot, doesn't matter your evacuation zone, you cannot stay there. You have to go to a safer shelter. Also around Tampa Bay, well, let's start off with Pasco and Hernando County. I want to skip over them. 8 to 12 feet for storm surge expected. Again, 12 on the higher end. 5 to 8 feet for Tampa Bay. And then it goes down to 4 to 7 feet for Manatee and Sarasota, and then 3 to 5 for Southwest Florida. And I did want to go back to this because around the Big Bend area, look at this. Catastrophic storm surge could be happening. 15 to 20 feet. You know what that looks like? You have to go back to Ian in Southwest Florida, and I've seen the damage from 15-foot storm surge. It's not something to take lightly. Please, if you know anybody in that area, close to Tallahassee, close to the Big Bend, make sure that they have a safe place to go. That is not a safe place to stay come tomorrow. As we look at our radar here, again, we will have those outer bands of rain start to really pick up the pace as we move into Thursday morning. Then we're expecting the storm to brush by us Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. This is at 2 o'clock. It's just starting to approach our area. This is our in-house model, by the way. And then as we finish off Thursday evening into Thursday night, it is expected to make landfall ahead of midnight Friday. And again, landfall right now looks to be around the Big Bend area. How much rain we're expecting? This is fresh water rain, anywhere from 3 to 6 inches, most spots. Some areas could see upwards to 8 inches of rain, but that would, of course, be higher totals as you get closer to the Big Bend. And that's just fresh water. So the flooding will really be linked to the storm surge, not so much freshwater rain. Still can happen, though. There's still areas that have been saturated, Sarasota and Manatee counties, that are still picking up or still cleaning up after Debbie. So keep that in mind. 7-day forecast here. We do have a weather impact alert that's in effect for tomorrow and the first half of Friday for obvious reasons. Of course, we're always keeping you informed, prepared, and connected online and on the air. And we thank you for joining in.